What's up, guys? It's Techno Viking 23 coming to you today from the Dreadnought in the Take It King of Destiny. And today I'm going to be talking about why I think the Court of Oryx has just been a huge disappointment and very poorly managed and handled by Bungie to this point. And if you guys wonder why there's not really any gameplay right now, I'm just kind of sitting here. This is kind of to prove a point. This is my typical experience with the Court of Oryx, basically since the Taken King has come out. The Dreadnought, as I've said a few times in other videos, is just this big, vast, open space, and it's very boring. There's really never anybody around, and I just find it kind of interesting because this is supposed to be the really fun patrol, loot-filled fortress public event fest that Bungie promised in all the reveal trailers and everything, and we heard about how much fun it was going to be. Court of Oryx has been a huge letdown for me. Number one, I think it's a little too easy, and I've played through all three tiers, and really the tier 3, once you get the mechanics down, are really not that difficult as long as you have enough people who are high enough light level. I've seen them 3-manned sometimes with a bunch of 290s, but I've had pretty good experience with the Court of Oryx. I've tried to run it quite a bit to see like the gear drops and everything, and the main reason I wanted to make this video is because I've seen so many of the big-time Destiny YouTubers pumping up Court of Oryx, talking about how it's such a great experience and how it's just this loot fest and you get all this loot from Court of Oryx, and that has not been my experience whatsoever. So I wanted to offer the counter viewpoint, and to that I'm going to say Court of Oryx is just pretty darn boring, and I don't find the loot to be really worth it. I don't find the loot drops to be all that great. Last night was one of the few times I actually was able to run Court of Oryx for quite a while. We actually had three other people that were in patrol, and I actually was able to run Court of Oryx for about 2 hours, using up a bunch of ruins, and really was not impressed. The loot drops are not that good, and I hear people talking about, oh, just go do Court of Oryx, you'll get tons of loot. If you don't have a rune, that's not actually true. You're not going to get a whole lot of loot from the Court of Oryx. You actually get a very, very tiny loot drop chance unless it's actually your rune that's been used. I used a tier 3 rune last night, and after we had to do all that work to kill the boss, which is pretty mechanic heavy, I got 2 blue engrams. Didn't even get a legendary, and they both turned into like level 265 things, and that's the other big problem I have. I ran Court of Oryx as a 293 for 2 straight hours. Of all the loot drops I had, a piece of armor drop that was like a 294. Everything else was like 265, 270. It's just not worth it whatsoever. It looks like we actually got somebody over here, but I don't know what he's doing, if he's actually wants to do Court of Oryx or not. But I've been sitting here, not just for the length of the video, but for about 30 minutes, and this is the first guy I've actually seen pop up. There haven't really been too many people in patrol, and this is one of the big issues with the Dreadnought in general and Court of Oryx is, number one, there's never anybody around to play with, and I've tried to jump on it multiple times during the day, hardly have any luck finding people, and I live in a fairly populous area of the United States, so I know there's plenty of other people playing Destiny during the hours of the day, and number one, this is a problem because you can only bring a 3-man fire team yourself, personally, and the tier 3 is going to require usually more than 3 people to do, so you're kind of screwed in that area. I really wish they would have allowed 6-man fire teams. Oh wow, looks like this guy actually, he started one, so we can go ahead and play here a little bit. Do a tier 1 at least and maybe get no loot. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much my point. You got to sit around here, and you've got to wait a long time before you actually are able to get any people together to play the Court of Oryx, and to me it's just not worth it for all the effort that goes into it. You have to just basically sit here and wait, and it's really boring, and then you can run it for several hours, and most of the stuff you get is actually pretty lackluster. I don't know where guys are getting this idea that this is this huge, great place to grab loot, because you very rarely get anything. You guys can see here, we just killed that guy on his rune, and I did not get a drop. So that's the experience more often than not. Plus the 3 of coins, exotic drops do not work on these bosses. I have yet to see an exotic work, or an exotic drop from these guys. And I've also yet to see the icon, like when you use the 3 of coins, you get that little icon that tells you the buff is in progress. I never see that go away after we kill any of these guys, so I know it's not working on any of these bosses. And so here we go. We're just, going to sit here again. And this is Court of Oryx in general. This has been my experience with it. So this is what I just think this is a very poorly designed aspect of the game. I really wish Bungie had they should actually take this Court of Oryx and turn it into something more like Prison of Elders and make it an actual zone on the map you can select with matchmaking, so you can just go in and hook up with like um, 2 other random people, or actually like up to 5 other random people. They should make it a 6-man matchmaking patrol zone, so you can just go in here, and if you want to farm Court of Oryx, then you can just come here and farm Court of Oryx. But in its current state, it's pretty bad, pretty boring, and unless you've got a clan, which I'm guessing that's why a lot of the big YouTubers think it's really great, because they have, 40, 50 people they can play with at any time of day, and they're on these big clans. But for most of the casual players and your normal players of Destiny, this is your typical Court of Oryx experience. So let me know if you guys are having the same problem with Court of Oryx. Like I said, it's just been very boring, very, it's repetitive in nature, but it can be kind of fun when you actually get in there with 4 or 5 people and you're having a good time with it. But the loot drops just really aren't worth it to me. I'm a 293 and I keep getting 260 to 270 loot regardless of what tier. That's tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Like I said, the couple of tier 3s I've run, I've never even gotten a legendary drop. So it's just, to me, the loot is very lackluster in Court of Oryx. The RNG is still pretty terrible. And overall, that's about it. Video. We got 2 more guys. Maybe these guys will come over and we can run some tier 2 and some tier 3. Now we got 3 more people. Maybe they'll come over here and we can have some fun. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for me. Let me know what your experience with Court of Oryx has been so far. Like I said, I've been pretty let down, pretty disappointed by it. And again, just another promise Bungie really has not delivered on, and something they've really got to do a lot of work with to improve. So anyways, guys, I hope you're having a great Friday. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.